Hi, everybody. I'm Tom DeMay, and I'm here to help you use Brisk in order to get your students to do better at APGov FRQs. And I'll be demonstrating the Supreme Court case FRQ. All right, so we have Betts v. Brady and the Gideon comparison from a couple years ago. So I just took that from College Board, turned it into a Google Doc. I like to make these boxes that are green where students should be typing their responses, makes it a little easier for them to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this rubric that I typed up from College Board. So I just made a generic one that I could use for any of the SCOTUS FRQs. So I have this student sample here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Give Feedback. I'm going to use the rubric criteria. And so this has popped up before. So give feedback on how the student can improve their responses to prompts A, B, and C based on the Supreme Court case description provided. The student responses are in the green boxes. Sometimes Brisk can have trouble with how I format it, where the student is responding. But that rubric, I've clicked on the upload button, and that's why this is here. Always make sure that's at university level because this is a college level course. I'm just going to click Brisket. And as the feedback pops up, you'll notice that it's going to be in the different categories of the rubric that from College Board. So a lot of this feedback is really spot on. I'd say about 80% to 90% is going to be just plug and play, kind of just get it to the kid. There's going to be some times we're going to have to tweak it in order to better match what the student wrote, but overall it is pretty spot on. You could always delete some of this stuff, and then you could copy it each section individually or copy it all once you're done editing it, and then paste it into their either their doc, or if you have Google Classroom, add it as a comment. So I like how it breaks it down into the different parts, especially with Part B, how there are two different points available. Does a nice job of breaking that down. Another way of using Brisk to get feedback to students. Now, this is free. There's on a paid version I can show you later, but for Glow and Grow, in case you don't want to use the rubric, just generally speaking, how can you do better? So when we click on Brisket, there's going to be some positives, that's the glows, some grows, how can you get better? And one thing that I like, it's not always super useful, but it's always kind of intriguing, especially depending on what your assignment is, this wondering part, kind of trying to extend the students' thinking and reasoning and tying in some other concepts, sometimes from the course, sometimes beyond the scope of the course, but that can always be tweaked whenever you're writing in editing the content or the feedback. So these are two free ways in which you can get feedback to students. Stay tuned for the next video on how to use a paid feature to get feedback to your students in a very quick manner.